At Harvard, we're always learning how to present ourselves, from job interviews to social networking. But when does that presentation become a persona, and how much does it shape who we really are?
The talented Mr. Ripley follows Tom Ripley, a young man from a working-class background who is sent to Italy to retrieve wealthy heir Dickie Greenleaf. Obsessed with Dickie's glamorous life, Tom gradually takes over his identity, leading to a web of lies and violence. In Tom's story, the idea of persona plays a crucial role. According to the founder of analytical psychology, Carl Jung, a persona is a kind of mask designed on one hand to make a definite impression upon others and on the other to conceal the true nature of the individual. As Kirk and Ray define, a person's identity is shaped by their social location, the intersection of factors including race, class, and gender. For Tom, his social location as a working-class individual drives his desire for wealth and acceptance, making him susceptible to the appeal of adopting a false persona. Tom's embodiment of a persona functions as both a form of self-creation and self-destruction by granting him social mobility and serving as a survival mechanism, yet eventually leading to his moral and emotional downfall, demonstrating that while persona can offer benefits, when persona overpowers identity, it ultimately leads to the loss of self. Adopting a persona can offer significant advantages, especially when it comes to social mobility and fitting into new environments. When Tom Ripley first meets Dickie Greenleaf in Italy, the contrast between them is striking. Dickie is effortlessly lounging on the beach, the picture of wealth and ease, while Tom, awkward and out of place, observes from the sidelines. To bridge the gap between their worlds, Tom quickly adopts a persona pretending to be someone he's not, claiming they both went to Princeton. This lie is Tom's first step into a world that is otherwise inaccessible to him, a world of privilege and belonging. His ability to perform this persona, despite his discomfort, demonstrates how personas can serve as powerful tools for self-improvement and social mobility. By assuming the identity of an upper-class individual, Tom gains access to Dickie's world, marking the beginning of his climb in social status. This is supported by scholar Joanna Storelek, who argues that central to Tom's ability to move between social classes and adjust to new environments is the fluidity of his identity. The new identity Tom adopts opens doors to relationships, wealth, and power which were previously closed to him. Through his persona as Dickie, Tom temporarily achieves success, belonging, and status. At Harvard, the ability to adopt different personas can be just as crucial for students navigating various social and professional contexts. Whether it's in an internship interview, a seminar discussion, or a casual conversation in the dining hall, students often find themselves shaping their identities to fit the expectations around them. Presenting a version of oneself that aligns with what others expect can open doors to new opportunities, just like it did for Tom when he took on the persona of a well-educated, wealthy man to win Dickie's approval. The darker side of adopting a persona becomes glaringly clear in the pivotal murder scene between Tom Ripley and Dickie Greenleaf. When Dickie mocks Tom, calling him boring and rejecting him, Tom's response is not just one of ambition, but of emotional rage. The murder, brutal and impulsive, marks the moment when Tom's carefully constructed identity begins to unravel. His violent reaction signals a psychological breakdown where his persona, built to gain social mobility and acceptance, has failed him. Rather than a calculated move for success, Tom's murder of Dickie is an emotional explosion, driven by the rejection of the false self he has so carefully cultivated. This is supported by psychoanalyst and mental health professional Brett Carr, who argues that living a false identity can produce intense psychological strain, leading to emotional instability and moral compromise. Tom's need to constantly perform, to suppress his true emotions, and to live up to the persona he's created leads him to a breaking point. As Tom's identity becomes more fractured, the cost of maintaining that identity, of always pretending to be someone else, becomes too much for him to handle. The murder may seem like a way to finally take control, but in reality, it pushes Tom into a state of moral and psychological distress. Tom Ripley's descent into violence and moral collapse demonstrates that while adopting a persona can open doors, whether for social mobility or acceptance, the consequences of losing touch with our true identity can be far more damaging. At Harvard, students may not face literal violence, but the emotional and psychological costs of adopting a persona can still be profound. Constantly performing for social approval, whether for academic success, professional opportunities, or fitting into elite circles, can create a sense of disconnection from one's true self. Over time, this emotional strain can lead to burnout, stress, and an inability to form authentic relationships. Just as Tom's fragile identity leads him to lose control, so too can the pressure of maintaining a carefully crafted persona take a toll on students, preventing them from fully connecting with themselves or others. For Harvard students, this isn't just a cautionary tale from fiction. The pressure to present a polished, idealized version of ourselves can make it difficult to form authentic connections and leave us feeling disconnected. So, while personas can help us navigate certain spaces, we must be cautious not to let them overtake our true selves, because the cost of losing our individual identities is too severe.